honored to share the stage with everyone that came before me. I'm an outsider. I'm from Los Angeles. This is my second time here in Elko. So this is a bit of my perspective from last year. And forgive me for looking at my phone.
Just checking text.
There's something acute to poetry about the state of Nevada, having two things more than any other state: wild horses and whorehouses. You see, Elko's a mining town. With that comes the rattlesnake life of hotel living. Each day spent under the mountain and down the mine, where there's cold in the air only miners can feel. But for this week, the West meets in Elko to keep the history of its culture alive. It is here, in this small town, I witnessed a new side of humanity: the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. I learned the history of our people who often feel forgotten by the rest of us. But there's a love here, a love for a simple life, a love for wearing cowboy hats and belt buckles with meaning, a love for dancing with loved ones to a rusty tune that never gets old, a love for $3 beers and slot machines and keeping the dogs in the bed of a truck, a love for broken bones and fractured skulls, and a love for rodeo. It was here in Elko I found the people who maintained a real love for the West that endures. Because you can't know the West until you met the people that have lived and died here. You can't know the cowboy life until you lived it yourself. Hell, there's a reason why the saying is what it is. This ain't my first rodeo. Because there's nothing like seeing a man mount a bucking animal capable of ending his life. You can't know what it's like being in that freezing chute with the gladiators waiting to go to glory. There's success defined by 8 seconds. To the West, I journeyed with 2 bull riders across 3 state lines. I watched the Ruby Mountains fade to gold as the snow caps stranded my eyes. I traveled far and deep into the earthly wonders of the West. I stepped upon a frozen lake, home to no one but the jackrabbit sheriffs and the tiny trails left by ice fishermen. I sailed upon the sagebrush sea to Thunder Mountain, where the Navajo are Amish by a home made of forgotten metal and forged earth. From Elko was the Donner Pass. I think I'm gonna have to skip some of this, excuse me. One thing I've learned is you can give a cowboy many things and they'll know what to do with it. Give them a rope and they'll know the right knot to tie. Give them a saddle and they'll show you something to ride. Give them a cold one or a hot plate and they'll know what to do with it. You give them a job to do and it gets done with rough hands. I shouldn't have thought a microphone would be any different. To my surprise, the people of the West stood up one after another with the cadence of soapbox pastors. They spoke about the land that raised them, of the snow that fell on the plains, and the animals who endured it with them. They sung of the rodeo spirit, of its traditions with a passion for the ride that keeps the risks weighed down. They passed on the tales that revered their ancestors who made the first perilous journeys out west and into a larger world, thanking them for their homesteads that their forefathers built. Each of them tied to the unbreakable bond with the very land that isolates them, a romance shared by many, but a truth understood by few. That's the thing about truth. It falls through you like the clear glass of a window pane. You see, it's hard to imagine anyone would voluntarily sit in the back of an ordinary bull, would have any hesitations of public speaking. In some ways, it didn't change them at all. In other ways, it took the shell right off their backs. You witness the tenderness hidden in their eyes, behind stern faces, as sure as simple words make for good poetry. They stand as desert roses, sun-bitten in the wake of the cool breeze of dawn. I listen to the yodlers sing alpine songs, to the poems of the troubadours, and their stories of marauders and the women who defeated them. But what I heard and what I saw were sometimes different things. You see, I crave change. It's the very reason why I hopped in a truck with 2 bull riders and drove across 3 state lines. See, there's a focal point in all our lives, but the cowboy, that focus is acutely defined. Every moment of their day is a posturing to salute the image of the West. See, every person I met, every passing stranger had a similar resemblance, with the same button-up tucked in below the brim, and the boots that clank with every step toward the casinos and whorehouses. They all love playing their part, because without it, that's what they love, not figuratively, but literally. The grooves run so deep that their tunnels are carved with the love for everything they've known. See, they've each planted their desert rose, and each one is just as beautiful as the last, as the enduring symbol of the West. Thank you.
Oh.